Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yashar Thug, so the brothers, Yahweh Shemal Thug by Shem Yahshai. Priest Officer Thou coming to you again. This is the ISUPK Last Radan Kodash. What we're going to be doing tonight, we're going to be doing a continuation in regards to the Hebrew. Alright, continuation of the Hebrew. Last week we started out with the 12 tribes of Israel, of course, though. I believe we Zabalawan? Okay, we went to Zabalawan. So we're going to do a continuation of that. Per the usual, if you do not have the Hebrew, of course, though, make sure you reach out, ISUPK Syracuse at gmail.com, ISUPK Syracuse at gmail.com. We'll make sure that we get you the information that you need, of course, though, so that you can follow along. In the classes on a Saturday, of course, though, that is the Sabbath class, the Saturday class. We make sure that we go over the Torah. We go over the Torah, reading in the Hebrew, so that you should be able to follow along with that as well. There's so much that has happened, that has, occurred, in this society today, that we need to go back. We need to go back, to our roots. We need to go back to our heritage, of course, though. Instead of, pressing forward to the growth and development of this society, this kingdom, we should be pressing forward to the growth, development, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. There's a way in which that we work with one another to build. It's amazing, when we are actually in charge. And we had the spirit of the Most High, of course, though. And instead of us doing as the other nations does, we should be leading them. So, as usual, if anybody has any classes, start a class. If anybody has any questions, of course, though, go ahead and raise your hand, ask your questions. Hey, Shalom, Yosef. I see you, young man. I see you. So, make sure you're saying that you are also taking notes too, though, because you know this information, you know what I'm saying, is useful and beneficial, you know what I'm saying, to you, your children, and your future generations as well. So teach your brothers, teach your sisters though, but first you have to learn, get up in these classes. All right? So with that, let me show you what we should be looking at. I told you, what I'm saying, I'm gonna keep it so that y'all come to the truth and get it. What y'all see on the screen right now, this is the alphabet, all right? This is the alphabet, of course. So make sure you know you request for that information. There's also the 100 common words. There's much more information that we will make sure that we'll be sharing, of course, though, to brothers and sisters. So I'll give you a quick moment just to kind of look at that. Does anybody here believe or think, you know what I'm saying, that they're able to go through the alphabet, you know what I'm saying, without having to look at the sheet? Does anybody think that they have, you know, gotten the ancient, that they have gotten the Assyrian down to the point where it's just like, you know what, I could do all of it, from the ancient to the Assyrian to the English, of course. Joseph, I hope you're staying warm up there, you know what I'm saying? I believe, you know, that y'all got a snowstorm, you know, on its way, right? Y'all expected to have some weather. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying, y'all staying warm up there. Y'all made necessary preparation. All right. All right. Per usual. Pen and piece of paper. If you don't, you know what I'm saying, make sure you write this down. Make sure you guys are practicing it. Trying to avoid this mark. I still can't avoid it. Every time I write this, I still find some way to make it right here. All right. So, when it comes down to the Hebrew, does anybody know what this is on the board? Is this the Assyrian? Is it the Paleo? Is it the ancient? What is it? We ain't get hit with it just yet though, but so far we twat the water for asking. This right here, what we have on the board, this is the Paleo Hebrew. This is the ancient Hebrew. All right? This is the ancient Hebrew. That's the Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La. All right? So, the English. We'll hold off on the English. God, that's right, Yosef. That's right. That's the Paleo Hebrew, all right, which is also known as the ancient Hebrew. All right, what you see on the board is the Paleo Hebrew, also known as the ancient Hebrew, the Lashon Kodash. Lashon Kodash, all right? They have found ruins, you know what I'm saying? They have found ruins of Paleo Hebrew here in Syracuse, not Syracuse, Slocky. Bat Creek Stone. It's one of them.
So like, yeah, it should be in that book on the top too.
It's like
It should be in that book on the
this
top.
one?
Yeah,
The water.
the water. I think it's the Lost Forest.
Okay. That's right. Yucatan. There it goes. Definitely got some good information there. God, Sluggy. Yeah, there are definitely multiple locations. Even in Mexico. Even in Mexico, which that this information, you know what I'm saying, was found, of course, though, but what you'll see, of course, though, is that our people, you know what I'm saying, are all over the place, of course, though, and that our history was taken and stolen from us, though. Think you'll be able to write the Assyrian Hebrew up there? The Assyrian, not the ancient.
No, I gotta brush up on that. I haven't did a Syrian in a long time.
Okay. Well, that's also why we're here for the class, huh? So, what we have right here, this is the ancient Hebrew, of course, though. Corresponding with it, we have the English, and then we also have the Assyrian. The Assyrian, of course, though, is what we'll see a lot in books and texts that we read all over the globe. So, as of right now, so if we were to pick up, you know, the Tanakh, right, the Torah, the Tanakh like a JPS. JPS, you see these type of letterings, all right? This is Tanakh. So, looking on the board, of course. It's like what you can see right here. It's a little difficult to see. All right. What you see right here. You have the alphabet. This is the Assyrian. These are the corresponding characters from the ancient or the paleo to the Assyrian. All right. And as you go through it, each character also has a meaning, right? Each character also has a meaning though. Like, for example, we're just going to use Ta. Ta, you know what I'm saying? This character right here, if you were to look at it in the Assyrian, right? If you look at it in the Assyrian, think about how baskets used to be made, right? A lot of the stuff was cross weave, right? They were, you take one thing, it's crossed, right? Whatever. Well, basket from the side view may look like this, but from the top view, if you're looking down into the bottom, it's just kind of like what you would see right here. You know what I'm saying? It's like a basket, right? So that's where some of the meanings come from. You mainly, if you see it all in the ancient, it's as if it was on paper. This is what it looked like on paper. Or, if it was written down in the sand or on papyrus or, whatever was being used at the time, etched in stone, right? This is what it would look like. All right? So even, like the Ba, which is like the blueprints of a house. All right, blueprints of a house, like the door of a house, like a path. So each one of these characters has a meaning, of course, though, and that's the thing that we're here to learn and understand, of course, though, all of these things. Now, what we should be doing is practicing the ah, the na, the sa, the I, the ka, the ta, the ya, the kwa, ra, sha, the ba, da, ga, ha, wa, za. Alright? I specifically did not go in order. So, yeah, we can practice it with the ah, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, right? We can practice it that. But what happens, when you start going from this letter? What is this letter? Does anybody know what this letter is? We skipped all of the alphabet, right? And just jumped down to this letter right here. If you saw this letter, would you know what it is? This is where we practice and practice and practice. Hey, shalom, sis. Yahweh Shem Yashar. It's lucky. Yahweh Shemar Thug by Shem Yashar. I see you, sis. So, you know what this character is right here, right? You know what this character is. You should be able to just go and say, oh, yeah, that's the Pa, right? If we were to jump up, is, oh, what's this? That's the Ka. What's this? It's the lie. So it's just a matter of repetition and a matter of practice. This character here is the ending of a word. These characters are the ending of words. Something that we should practice and get used to. All right? We should get practice seeing the difference between the taza and the taza. Used in the middle of a word, used at the end of the word. The pa, which is used in the middle of a word, at the beginning of the word, versus what's used at the end of the word. As we read the Hebrew, right? As we read the Hebrew and we're going over, oh, which tribe is which? What do we want to talk at? It's a bottle one? We look, you know what I'm saying, we see the scriptures, of course, though. When we see the scripture, of course, though, we better just identify it, right? Like, can we see, you know, the different characters? If we go through the alphabet, once again, can you see which character is the ah? Can you see which character is the ba? Can you see which character is the ga, the da, the ha? Right? That's why we're practiced, you know, writing all of the characters. So that if you were to pick up the Tanakh and you was to read it, you could just look at this though. That is the ya, that is the ga, that is the wa, the da, the na, and the wa. You can also identify, you know what I'm saying, just anywhere. That's the I. That's the kwa, the ba. So when we're looking at the scripture, of course, though, we were going over the tribes. We stopped at Zabalawan, which, if we pick it up and keep going, that brings us to right here. The ga and the da. It's the ga and the da. So if you can practice identifying these characters, it's like ga, da, gad. Genesis chapter 49, verse 19. That's what we're looking at. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. What nation of people is this? That was like a trick question. What nation of people is this right here? What is nation of people is Gad? I see y'all. 1 second. Go ahead, Al.
The Native American.
I would give you credit for that. This is a trick question. What nation of people is this? It's a trick question.
Kind of just Native.
Which one?
The Native American Indians, right?
Nation of people. Edomites are what? Okay, if I ask you, you know what I'm saying, what nation of people do Tenem comes from?
Who?
Tenem. The so-called Germans. They would be
Esau.
there you go.
Okay.
Gad is
Israel.
there you go. Hey, Slakia, it was a trick question. Gad is of the nation of Israel. I know I pressed Gad a lot, right? I was pressing for Gad. But the question was phrased to throw you, you know what I'm saying, off just a little bit. Keep you sharp. So when I said what nation, you were focused on what tribe.
Okay.
So it's just to keep us, the same way, you know what I'm saying, when I was asking, you know, hey, if I just point randomly, you know what I'm saying, to this character right here, what are you going to say, right? Especially if I was to do something where it's just like, oh, I hit this one. And then I was just like, what character is this? You might say I both times.
Okay.
All right? So just a trick, you know what I'm saying? No sweat. You got it, though. You know what I'm saying? You was right, you know what I'm saying? That is the tribe of Gad. That's a tribe of Gad. You know your tribe out. Most High Christ. All right, so Genesis 49, verse 19, you know what I'm saying? We get the tribe of Gad. All right? So called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know that's Gad. How? Why?
I forgot what the scripture said about Gad.
Right on the screen. It says, reading it out loud, it says, Genesis 49:19, Gad, a troop shall overcome him.
Okay.
A troop have overcome him. And then it says, but he shall overcome at the last day. When we go through, you know what I'm saying, the historical context, right? Columbus Day. Columbus Day, Thanksgiving, you know, what is the story always about?
Oh, when the Mayflower Pilgrims came over and went
Right.
to war with us, and
The Pilgrims, you know what I'm saying? Thanksgiving stems from what? A troop overtaking the tribe of Gad. You understand? So we can find out, hey man, the Native Americans, man, this must be them. This must be them right here. But in the end, though, that's the piece that they gotta pay attention. But he shall overcome at the last. He shall overcome at the last stuff. When everything is all said and done with, you know what I'm saying, the Gadites is gonna rise up. You know what I'm saying? You see the tribe of Gad, you know what I'm saying, all on the reservations. Like I was talking to, you know, Gadite's sister like 2 weeks ago. I was talking to her, you know what I'm saying, she was like, yeah, you know, people easily get lost when they drive by, when they come through and whatnot. They think they're going on the highway. You know, there's a lot of stereotypes, you know, that's connected to, you know, Gad, of course, the Native Americans, so-called indigenous people, First Nation, you know, however, you know, being identified today. But it's not going to stay the way things are. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a change, of course, though. We must be able to, you know, recognize that and realize that. That's why it's important for us to speak our language, learn our heritage, so that, you know, Yahushua returns and it's Kwam Yasha'Allah. You understand? Rise Israel. We should rise up. So, what characters on this board, you know what I'm saying, would identify the tribe of Gad?
God died.
God died. Can you point to that? Focus up. God died. You know what I'm saying? It's right next to each other in the alphabet. God and Da is right next to it. You understand? So if you look at, you know what I'm saying, this is the handwritten versus the actual printed. So part of our practice is to make sure that we're able to, oh yeah, that's a God. You know what I'm saying? And those are the things, you know what I'm saying, that we practice though, so that, you know, we're able to identify those things and be able to move forward, you know. So what I'm gonna do real quick, we're just gonna go over the alphabet briefly, and then we're gonna get into, you know, the rest of the tribes. All right. So it's the I. All right. It's the Ba. It's the Ga. The Da. The Ha. The Wa. The Za. So what's the one thing, you know what I'm saying, that children do when they're in school? Children in first grade, you know what I'm saying, they work on the alphabet. They work on their penmanship, right? They don't teach cursive writing anymore. Whatever. They don't? Not in there, not in this area. They said there's no room in the curriculum. I mean, I remember, you know what I'm saying, when students went to school, they was in there for a long period of time though, but it's different now. All right. Ta. Ya. Ka. La. Ma. The Na. I. Yeah, see, this where I gotta get that extra room for this right here. Right, Taza right here. Understand. Slovakia. What did I just do? There it goes. I did exactly what I said, you know what I'm saying, not to do, right? That's the Sa. That's the I. It's Pa. You do the Taza right here between Taza. Qua. Bra. Sha. Da. All right. That's the alphabet, of course, though. Now, do we remember some of the basic rules when it comes down to the alphabet? All right.
Got it.
All right. Tell me one. Just tell me just one basic rule.
No, that's dumb. You gotta use connectors.
All right. What about the connectors?
The connectors have to. The connectors are used to connect the alphabets.
So one is use connectors, right? So example of that. What's one example that we would use?
Oh, like with GAD, you
Okay. Do you show me?
kind of.
All right. Most what? Most high guys, the water. You know what I'm saying? The water. You know what I'm saying? So one of the basic rules is to use connectors. All right. One of the basic rules, you know what I'm saying, to the Hebrew is using connectors. What's? Let me just check our mind real quick. Are there any other rules? Are there any other rules, you know what I'm saying, other than using connectors? All right. So give me a quick second. Gad is Hebrew Israelites, but it's just more specifically the nation of Israel. Yashar'Allah. Yashar'Allah. All right. So Yosef, you know what I'm saying, you are correct in that, but specifically Yashar'Allah, Israel. So the wadi I'm saying for you, I'm saying especially, you know, for getting that as well too. So, all right. What's one other thing, you know what I'm saying, that we might have as a rule? Connectors. Alright. I always think about it like smiley faces. Smiley faces. When you do connectors, right? So it's like, yeah, I erased it up, but you got it up there. When you write connectors, right? What does that look like? If you was to write this in the English, what would that look like? Do you know?
Are you talking the words?
Kind of. When you do it as the ABC.
Yeah.
Go for it. Huh?
But it's funny because it's I guess the age drops off or something.
Right. So that would be what?
Gada.
No, you had it right.
Gad.
Gad, but it would be
Basic rules.
God, that would be like a basic rule. Huh? So, all right. Connectors, all right. Let me put it like this. Connectors modify the words. All right? And I want to use that lightly in the sense that when I say modify the word, if you just wrote this straight out like you were saying, you got God, right? And then you got Da. But because of the connector, the Ah falls off. The Ah falls off. Right? right? Ah follows off. There was one specific example I wanted to use though, but I don't want to butcher it. Even if we were to do something like I just switched languages, didn't I? I went Syrian to I went ancient to Syrian.
Oh.
Did I? No, I had it right. All right. I believe I'm missing the I here, but if we was to use like this, this is used as an example, right? If it became, we spelled it out. This is just the ka itself, right? And then if we had the ah, right? The connector, because we have the ka like this, and even in cases where there is no connector, it can drop the A. Understand? There's cases, so now we don't have the ka rataza. So we'll get in more depth to that though, but it modifies, you know what I'm saying, the the word, right? It modifies, or should I say characters. It modifies the characters, specifically more so when it comes down to like the enunciation. Now, I kind of gave it to you already, but what's one more, rule that we may see or we may talk about or we may go over?
From left to right.
There you go. What's left to right? What's left to right? What would be left to right? What's the significance of right to left or left to right?
It's like I forgot.
So when you read the Hebrew, do you read it from left to right like you do in the English? All right, so we have this example again, right? How would you read that, or how would you pronounce that?
Gada.
Okay. So, did you read left side or the right side first?
Right side first.
So one of the basic rules is we would read
Left to right.
so
Or right to left.
right to left. Right? So, one of the basic rules is, we read and we write from right to left. Say that 3 times fast. Tongue twister and tongue tied. Can we think of one more rule in regards to Slocky, I ain't seen all that shit. Right. Like, I didn't realize you were saying that y'all wasn't seeing the entire screen. Fuck yeah.
You could see it on Facebook, what y'all was just writing.
Oh, it's like, that was the screen. It's like, alright, exit. Can we think of one more rule that we would follow, that we would abide by? It comes down to the evil. And these are good things to write down as notes. If you did not write down these things as notes, you might want to write it down, right? Because when you go back, you know what I'm saying, to refer to it, you can look at your notes like, oh yeah, what was that rule again? Am I supposed to read right to left, left to right? I give you one more. Try to make sure I spell it right. Definitely started to spell that wrong. All right. Make sure that everybody can see this right or correctly. But one of the fourth rules is that prepositions sit before a noun's relationship to another word in a sentence. Right? So, many times, of course, though, we will we'll read the Hebrew, and we will say, we'll say something like Wayahawa, right? Wayahawa. So saying Wayahawa is like and the Lord or and the Most High. Right? Let's get an example of what that looks like. Just so everybody can be clear.
Please.
Actually, this one here. A good example of that is this right here. Alright, so if you are paying attention, this is the Blue Letter Bibles. We are in Genesis chapter 6, verse 7. Genesis chapter 6, verse 7. And it says, Wayamar, right? So, Wayamar. So, so that right here, that wa, right, is and. That's like the word, that's the preposition for and, right? Because the root of this is Amar. And the Lord said, let's see that. And the Lord said, Amar. The Lord said. So, in this case, you could look at it as and thee. Who is thee? Right? And thee, so that the wa is and, the ya, which is, you know what I'm saying, referring to a person or being, the noun. So that's the relationship. So preposition sits before nouns, relationship to another word in a sentence. So, and thee, which is the Lord. So, and the Lord said. And the Lord said. So this is an example of a preposition, of course, though, where we will see the root word, Amar, right? The ah, the ma, and the ra being modified to have the what? The wa and the ya. So, waya amar. And then it goes Yahweh. So, and the Lord. That's that phrase. This is a good example of what that look like. How would that be? All right. Is there any questions in regards to that? Any questions?
Nah.
All right. Let me just check online real quick. So like, yeah, okay, yeah, so y'all can see the mouse. Y'all can see the mouse as I write. Okay, that's the one. Most high in Christ. So as I move around, of course, y'all can see. That's good. All right. Here we are. We are. So I mean, we have four different, you know, say four different basic rules. Of course, though there are more rules to it, though. But let us make sure that we take heed, we take notes. So we always learning, we always moving forward, we always striving. All right. With that being said, let's get into the rest of the tribe of Israel. The rest of the tribes of Israel. Well, all right, you swap with this on the board? Do you need some more time, or you swap? You got the information?
Okay. Yeah, I got the information.
All right, no sweat. All right. So, there's a couple more rules, you know what I'm saying? But some of those rules are simple. Oh, yeah. Some of the other rules, right? Which is the endings. The endings can change. There are 5 different endings. Those endings are, all right? That's the ka. That's the na. It's locked. That's the ma. That's the pa. Yeah, I did that right there. And that's the za, right? These are the endings. When the words, or when the characters are different at the end. At the end. So you can put this down as one of the 5th rules. Alright, so Slakia. I should write that a little bigger, shouldn't I? So what this says is, it says some characters use different form at the end of a word. At the end of a word. So this one here, this is ka. Ka. This is the second form of ka. But this is only used at the end of a word. This is na. Only used at the end of the word. How did I do the ka? I like writing the na and the ka next to each other, so it's like, but this is the ma. It is closed. This is the pa. This is the pa, right? Then this is the taza. That's the taza. So this is the second form of these characters. Second form. So I wrote it again. Second form, used only at end of word. Some characters use different form at the end of the word. Those 5 characters are the ka, the na, the ma, the pa, and the za. All right, those are the 5 characters that has a second form to be used only at the end of a word. All right. Now, this here. Breaks down to Gad. It's going to stay Genesis. Was it 16 or was it 19? Let me just double check. Just confirm. I'll give you out the incorrect information. Team, that's correct. I'm gonna stop calling them indigenous people. I'm gonna say ingenious. No? Alright, indigenous. Alright. So called anthropology class, you know what I'm saying, the professors, they get all over this, man. You're talking about, Native Americans or the Native Indians, the First Nation people, you know what I'm saying, how they cycled through and traveled, of course though, but Native Indians, First Nation, I'm not gonna say I done messed it up. I got ingenious in my head now. Indigenous. I ain't gonna even attempt to try to spell that right now because I know I'm gonna write it incorrectly. But indigenous, I can spell it, but now I'm telling myself I gotta spell it because I just said it, right? Native Americans, First Nations, that's who it are, you know what I'm saying? Taino Indians, that's who the tribe of Gad is. Alright? Oh, right. That's what I was gonna do. Which
Troop.
Alright. So Genesis 49:19, we have Gad. We will see it like this in the Torah, the Tanakh. A troop, so-called Native Indians, First Nations. All right. So that is Genesis chapter 49, verse 19. It's right here, though. It's right here. All right. This right here. Which is, you want to give it a start? You want to give it a try? What tribe is this? First rule that we have.
Oh, the
no.
Cubans.
Not first rule. What was it, rule number 3? I think it had as like rule number 3. Hebrews read from right to left.
Kind of.
How would you read that?
Manasha. Huh?
All right, Manasha. So,
Cuban.
Ma. Na. By applying the rules that we went over, of course, though, what happens? It goes from Manashaha to. But before we get that far, let's go ahead and translate this into the Assyrian. The Assyrian is going to look like this. The Assyrian. All right. So, Salakia. Bear with me for just a moment. All right. So, as we look here, right, Genesis chapter 50, verse 23. Can we identify it? Can we look and say, oh, there you go. That's them. So this is Ban, which is son. So Ban, right? Should be third. Shala Shayam. So son, the ma, the na, the sha, and the ha. So you see how the on the sha written down is a little different though. There we go. Manasseh. It's Manasseh. Genesis 50 and 23. You want to do it? Write that on the board out?
God.
Good.
Fix that right up.
Manasseh on the board? It's like I'm in the English block out. So we're here to learn, so right how you think it should be. If we need to make corrections, we'll do that. John, go up. Genesis 50 and 23. You got Manasseh, which is made to forget. Right? And who did we say that was that?
Cubans.
So-called Cubans. Yeah. That's Cubans. So. Okay. All right. So Cuba. Cuba. Oh, it's like, can't I see that? I can write next to it. Okay. That's who the Cubans are. Cubans were made to forget. Who are you? Where are you from?
Oh, you said Cubans was made to forget?
Made to forget.
Oh, that's what Cuban mean?
Manessa. So, Genesis 41 and 51. So as we look at here, and Joseph called the name of his firstborn Manasseh, for God said, He hath made me forget all my toil and my father in all my father's house. Right. So the firstborn of Joseph is Manasseh. For he has made me forget all my toil.
What's that?
You know the answer to that, right? Huh?
Wow.
Look it up.
Oh.
Always look it up. You do? Toil. You can look at it as in like almost like suffering, more or less. All right. So, it says work extremely hard or essentially exhausting physical labor, right? All my toil. Hey man, he had a toiling day. He toiled all day. You know what I'm saying? It was exhaustive. So, Manasseh Made to forget. How are the Cubans? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at the kingdom, of course, though, you know what I'm saying, the northern kingdom, of course, and who they're comprised of, you know what I'm saying? You know that the characters of them, they possess. Alright? So that's actually Genesis 49:51. Sorry. So we're going to Genesis 41 and 51. So we're going to use that. So Akim and Aqua, I'm saying, if I'm wrong, 41 and 51. So I. Genesis 41 and 51. Messa, which is the Cubans, made to forget. Alright. Forget all my toils. Right? My hard days of work. I want to sit down and have a nice drink. Relax. Don't worry about it again until I have to, right? Wouldn't that be nice?
I don't know what you mean.
So I go to my slave all week long. You know what I'm saying? I go to my slave. It's exhausting. It's tiring. Listen, man, I just want to go home, relax, kick back, have a brew. You know what I'm saying? Have a nice coat. You know, watch the game. I want to forget about that 9 to 5 that broke my back. You know what I'm saying? That back breaking work that I'm doing. So I want to forget about my toil. I want to forget about, you know what I'm saying, that hard work that I have to do all the time. And that's it's made to forget. Alright? That's Genesis 41 and 51. Make sense, Doc?
Okay.
So this here. This is one of the tribes of Israel, right? Just for the recommendations that I say, when you write it out first, just write the character in English above it. So, you know, that's the na. So that's na, that's pa, sta, la, yeah. So, Natalia, alright? Natalia. So, if we was to rate this in the Assyrian, do we know what that would look like? Have an idea. If you saw it, Blue Letter Bible. Part of, you know what I'm saying, what I'm doing is I'm showing you first in the ancient, the paleo, right? And then I show you, you know what I'm saying, so that you can get the pronunciation. Na, pa, ta, la, ya, Italia, right? Then I'm showing it to you in the handwritten so that you can go to the printed text. So, alright. Now, in fact, we have two of those special characters in this alone. But we're not going to change anything because it does not apply. The special change or the second form of these characters only apply at the end. In this case, the na is not at the end, the pa is not at the end. It's like, yeah, pa isn't one of the characters. It is. Pa is one of the characters. So, I'll write this a little bigger. Alright. So if you're looking at it, you see the na, the pa, the tha, the la, and the ya. Alright? So having that like that, it should be easy, well, relatively easy. This is 49.25, is it? Slide it. What's the spelling that you see on there? On the second from the right, up top.
You got it right on the board.
Con, I just when I key it into the, it's not pulling it up.
What you looking for?
Naphtali?
Con.
Yeah, it's NAP.
Right. Okay.
TH.
That's sort of.
ALI. It's not showing up?
La.
Okay. Maybe the but you in Genesis 49?
Con.
Okay. Yeah, it's in Genesis 49.
I thought it was like 25. I just saw it earlier.
Yeah, it's in Genesis 49. You just gotta go down. It's towards the latter part of the verse.
Right. Con. Slack. There it goes. All right. There we go. All right, Salakia, y'all.
How is it spelled? Salakia.
NAPHT. We had I was the transposition of the H and the T.
Okay.
So it's the NAPHT. I was doing the T TH kind. So Naphtali. So you're looking at it. What we wrote on the board, right? You got the na, the pa, the da, the la, and the ya, right? Naphtali, Naphthalia. So in this case, if you was to write this out, how would you rate this on the board? How do you think that you would write this on the board? Based upon the rules, based upon what we currently have written. So we have all the characters, right? And their translations. And then we have where it connects as well too, which so when we read this, Thal, because this is connected. It's Thal, Ya, Naphthalia. So, Alayaha, it's like Laha. And then that's Shalakaha. Not Shalaka. Shalakaha. Hanatha Sakya. Hanathan. Sakya. Yeah. Hanathan. Amaria. Shapar and Ma.
Salakia. You need to sit? You need to sit?
Oh, live.
Okay.
Okay.
Genesis 49, verse 21. So if we're looking at this on the board, it's the Na, it's the Pa, so the I is going to drop off. So the Pa Thou, yeah. So Argentina to Chile, Argentina to Chile. Sorry. So, in Genesis chapter 30, verse 8, we find that the word Naphtali means my wrestler. My wrestler. Argentina to Chile. Alright? So that's the precept that we would get in regards to Naphtali. Lucky. drop this bit before I finish the work. Alright. This is Ra'aban, which is Reuben, right? So, and that's that special character. It's a special character because it's at the end. It's that special rule, the second form of the na. You understand that?
God.
Why did we use this na?
Oh, because it's at the end.
Most High in Christ. You know what I'm saying? Most High in Christ. That's right. That rule, when we went over the basics, right?
God.
Alphabet, some of the basic rules, of course, though. When we use the na, it is at the end of the word. It is a second form. So, in this case, this one gets tricky, kind of, right? You remember how I said, because this is, if you was just to write this out, you would be writing boom. That's how you would be writing it out, though. You remember how I was saying that there's those special rules and stuff? So you got ra, wa, ba, na. So it's wa, ba. So what we drop here in this case, and this is one of those like special things. We drop the ah. We also drop the ah. So we're left with ra ba. We drop the ah. Sometimes it can definitely get confused. Definitely confused. Genesis chapter 49. Yeah. Oh, sliding. There it goes. It was a snake. It would have bit me. Genesis 49:3. There it goes. Reuben, thou art my firstborn son. Firstborn son, Reuben. All right. Get in my strength. As you see that. Ra'ah. Rabban. Rabban. All right. So, like, you do me a solid out. Write Genesis 49:3 on the board, Baba Kasha. There you go.
Do it.
Those are the North American Indians.
That's like you said.
Genesis 49:3.
Differentiate the Seminole.
God.
I thought you said North American.
Seminole. Genesis chapter 49, verse 3. All right. So, it's like it. We'll pick this up, you know what I'm saying, finish this off, you know what I'm saying, next week. So-called Black Hispanics and Native Americans. All right. That's the time that we have for now. So, Salakia. With that, pass class over to Priest Captain Zaniel.
Security announcements. ISUPK. We are the ISUPK, started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the leadership of Commanding General Yohana. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation, we have the Feast of Purim coming up February 14th, Salakia, through the 15th, okay, the Feast of Purim. That's a feast where we'll have dainties, which are like cakes and sweets. All right. That'll be the focus, and we'll read in Esther. We'll read about Esther, okay, for Purim, Esther and Mordecai. All right. Also, Passover is coming up. That's April 15th, Cocoa Beach, Florida. All right, get everything lined up for that, okay? All right, try to get your arrangements in. And the Feast of Unleavened Bread will be as follows that following week, starting the 16th. Okay. All right. Akim and Aquafium, you can go ahead and check the bulletin board. We have our bulletin board in the back here. In the back right corner, my right, your left, has the calendar up on the bulletin board. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Black boots, black shirt, black pants, black headband, black scarf. With that, we'll give a courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, everybody stand. Imagine. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine. Barak. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah Brakatha.
Yahweh Hashem Yashar Brakatham.
All right.
Yeah, I should break a thumb.
We give a salute to the brothers. Imagine. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine. Barak.
Yahweh Hashem Yashar Brakatham.
Okay. Give a salute to the sisters. All right. And what we would do is we would now have the sisters stand. Okay. Men of Israel. Imagine. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine. Barak. Yahweh
Shamar Alafam Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah.
And with that, Azamatah, class dismissed.